Don't set yearly goals. Most people dream a lot and many set goals, but almost no one achieves those goals by the end of the year. Why is that? I've been thinking about it, and here's what I've realized. Setting goals is easy. The hard part, the thing most people struggle with, is executing them. And the thing that messes with our performance the most is our habit of setting yearly goals. I know it might not make sense at first, but I really want you to think about it. Let me paint you a picture. We all know how this usually goes. January rolls around and you're fired up. Big dreams, high energy, everything feels possible. But by the end of the month, you're already a little behind. No big deal, right? There are still 11 months to catch up. Fast forward to April, and you're even further behind. But you're still not worried because, hey, there's plenty of time left, or so you think. And before you know it, the whole year has passed, and you're scrambling in the last 2 months to achieve random goals just so you can say you accomplished something. We've all experienced it. Setting big goals, starting with enthusiasm, and then watching it fade. That's exactly why the traditional approach to goal setting doesn't work. And it's because it makes us overlook a crucial truth. Every week and every single day matters. The issue isn't your ambition, it's the lack of urgency. Without urgency, momentum slips away. And let's be honest, 12 months is way too long for anyone to stay laser-focused and productive. So, what's the solution? Here's a tip straight from the 12-Week Year by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. Stop thinking in terms of years and start thinking in quarters, or more specifically, in 12-week cycles. The 12-week year is based on periodization, a concept from athletic training that boosts performance by focusing on one skill for a short, intense period, usually 4 to 6 weeks. Top performers break big goals into smaller steps to stay on track, and nothing sparks motivation like a tight deadline. So when you switch to 12-week cycles, you create urgency, making your brain see every day as a chance to make real progress. And here's the best part. You don't need to wait for January 1st to start this. Choose any day as your starting point, count 12 weeks, and that's your year. Once the 12 weeks are over, you can take a break or jump straight into your next 12-week year. For example, let's say your goal is to publish 12 YouTube videos in 12 weeks. You plan to create one video each week, working 30 minutes a day. After 12 weeks, you reflect and realize it was too intense, so you adjust your goal. Maybe 9 videos with 60 minutes of work each day. The clearer you are about your goals and how to achieve them, the more likely you are to succeed. Next, the daily highlight. Most of us start the day with good intentions, maybe even a carefully planned to-do list. But then life happens. An urgent meeting pops up, a colleague needs your help, or some unexpected crisis demands your attention. And before you know it, your to-do list is out the window, and your whole day is spent reacting to everyone else's priorities. With so many distractions, it's easy to lose sight of our goals. But there's a simple yet powerful method from the book Make Time by Knapp and Zeratsky that can help you stay on track. The daily highlight. It's easy to use. Each day, pick one specific goal you want to achieve. It's the most important thing to you, the one thing you want to accomplish above all else. It could be work-related, like finish that report, or something personal, like spend time with my family, or watch a movie. Now, if you're someone who struggles to balance work and personal goals, you can set 2 highlights, one for your personal life and one for work. Once you've picked your highlights, schedule them in your calendar and guard that time fiercely. Don't let anything sneak in and disrupt it. That's how you make sure what matters most to you actually gets done. What's great about this habit is that even if your day doesn't go as planned, you'll still feel accomplished because you hit your highlight. Plus, you're creating a clear path to your goal, which helps you stay motivated and focused all day. Number 3, the 80-20 rule. In a nutshell, the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, says that 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts. In other words, out of 10 tasks you must complete, only 2 will make the biggest difference. And yet most of us find ourselves wasting time on things that barely matter instead of focusing on what truly moves the needle. Think about it. How many times have you spent a whole day stressing over small stuff, only to look back and wish you'd spent that time more wisely? Why does this keep happening? It's not just poor planning. The problem goes deeper, into how our brains work. When you're tackling a task, your ultimate goal might seem obvious. Finish the job, hit a target, or solve a problem. But often your brain has other ideas running in the background. Subconscious goals like wanting approval or validation can hijack your focus. For example, while working on a report, you might be driven by thoughts like, I want this to be better than everyone else's, or I need my boss to notice me. These hidden desires pull you off track. So, how do you fight back against your brain's sneaky tricks and stay focused on what actually matters? You start living by the 80-20 rule. Take Tim Ferriss, for example. He's a big fan of the 80-20 rule and the author of the 4-Hour Workweek. In his book, he shares how his first business, a supplement company, was stressing him out with a huge daily workload. After looking at his numbers, he found that 80% of his profits came from just 20% of his customers, wholesale buyers who ordered in bulk and rarely complained. So Tim did something drastic. He fired 80% of his customers and focused on the high-profit 20%. This way, he made more money with less work and stress. When it comes to using the 80-20 rule in your workday, it's especially helpful when you're swamped with tasks but short on time. In those overwhelming moments, it acts as a simple guide to help you prioritize. Let's say you're preparing for a big presentation at work and have only 3 hours to get everything done. You start by listing all the tasks, like creating slides, practicing your delivery, and researching extra stats. Then, instead of jumping in right away, you pause and remind yourself, it's not about doing everything. It's about focusing on the right things and doing them well. So you ask yourself, what am I trying to accomplish? Which 20% of tasks will have the biggest impact on my goal? If your ultimate goal is to deliver a clear and impactful presentation, the top priorities, the 20%, are creating the slides and practicing your delivery. That's it. The rest can wait or even be skipped if necessary. Don't overthink it. The point of the 80-20 rule isn't about the exact numbers. It's about subtraction. Focus your energy on the tasks that matter most and let go of the rest. Lastly, let's talk about work compression. Many people feel like they don't have enough time to reach their goals, but the real issue is often how much time they allow for each task, usually way more than necessary. There's something called Parkinson's law, which says that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. For example, if you give yourself 3 hours to write a report, guess what? It'll take you 3 hours. But if you look closer, you'll notice something interesting. For the first 2 hours, you're likely distracted, procrastinating, or doing unimportant tasks. Then, in the final hour, you scramble to actually write the report. This means that even if you could have completed the task in just 1 hour, you still ended up taking 3. Parkinson's law makes us waste time and work longer hours than necessary because we lack a sense of urgency. To counter this, we can use a strategy called work compression. Here's how it works. You shorten the time you allow yourself to complete a task, say by 50%, and then get it done in that shorter time, no matter what. For example, if you usually spend 12 hours working, cut it to 6 hours and aim to finish within that time. If preparing a presentation normally takes 2 hours, give yourself just 1 hour. The new time limit becomes your maximum, and the extra time you used to rely on, it's just gone. Now here's the key. Don't start by cutting your time drastically. That can feel overwhelming and backfire. Instead, start small. Take the time you'd normally spend on a task, reduce it by 10%, and see if you can still complete it in the shorter time. Once you're comfortable working at this new pace while maintaining quality, try reducing the time further. Keep doing this and see how fast and efficiently you can actually work. You might be surprised at how much you can accomplish when you stop giving yourself more time than you truly need.